Greetings. I am Richard Rhoda and the instructor for ELPA 7110 this semester, the community colleges in the United States. And this is going to be a brief video about the course as a bit of an overview or orientation to the course. Let me begin with a note of context about how this fits into the Center for Community College Leadership at ETSU. It was created last year about this time. And the whole purpose was ETSU is committed to be serving community colleges in this region, Appalachian region, Southern Regional Education Board, but a regional center of excellence as it relates to community colleges. And that would be in the way of a form of graduate level instruction, professional development, outreach, public service, and applied policy research. So they're all geared toward the unique issues and challenges of community colleges. The basic premise that's driving this is just the observation. States, some more than others, but states are pinning a lot of hope and a lot of public policy on the community colleges as a type of institution that'll serve a great public purpose, and that is increasing educational attainment for the state, aligning workforce development, labor needs with instructional programs. So it's critical now. I mean, this is just not any time in the continuum of higher education history. It's a critical moment, and it's a moment for the community colleges really to be the institution of choice for many, many people. So that's the notion. The notion also is there's going to be a need on a grander scale for leaders who are particularly attuned to the defining characteristics of community colleges. And so that's where the center comes in. The certificate program is, it may not be unique, but it's different. It's 5 courses, postmasters, 15 hours, and there's a credential. It's a graduate certificate. It can be standalone. So as a student, you can stop at the end of the 15 hours or either write immediately or after a period of time. That can become a concentration within the EDD program here at ETSU. So it's a versatile credential, and this is the second year now. The first cohort that started last fall has now completed with their credential, and I'm not sure how it broke down, but a number of them are now in the EDD program. So that's about the program. So this course, Community Colleges in the United States, it's a survey course. It's a review of the historic developments of the colleges, the history of the movement, the evolution of their role, scope, and mission, their external factors that have impacted the work of the community colleges, and vice versa, how the community college has impacted other external issues. We get into some of the operational characteristics of the colleges. We're using community colleges in the broadest sense to embrace, like here in Tennessee, the Tennessee Colleges of Applied Technology, as well as in other states where there may not have the specific name of community college, but vocational technical education or something that's post-secondary, but not baccalaureate level. That's another issue. We focus on Tennessee and reform movements because we're right here. But as students join the cohorts from other states, they will be bringing with them that background, those interests, and we will certainly broaden the scope of our focus on state reforms. So an objective, a very fundamental objective of this course is to start building a more in-depth understanding and appreciation for community college characteristics, how they're structured, how and who they serve, things of those questions. We're going to finish up the class looking ahead in the future trends, future challenges, as well as future obligations. Another objective of the class is to kind of take many of you to broaden your horizons as far as what all may be engaged beyond or in addition to what you're focusing on right now, but just a broader worldview of how community colleges fit into the master scheme of things and higher education in general. So a few specifics about the course. And the syllabus is on the D2L course site. Hopefully it's pretty straightforward. Consider it the most current draft. As things come up where we need to adjust dates or something, we can certainly do that. But assigned readings, very important that every week you'll have an assigned reading that will follow chapters in the main text, which is by Cohen, and it's called the American Community College. Keep up with those assignments. They'll be released every Monday night, and you have that week, starting basically Tuesday, to read the assignment and to then respond to discussion questions. But Cohen is a very readable text. The reading volume is not overwhelming by any means. There are 3 other texts, but don't get concerned about that. 2 of them are basically monographs. One is by Snyder, and it deals with workforce development, specifically provided by community colleges, and the other is by Weiner, and it's about student success, again, specifically at community colleges. The last one is more of a reference book, the higher education, the community college system in each state has a chapter, and some of those are current, some like Tennessee with the last Focus Act last year. Now it needs to be updated. But anyway, Cohen is the main reading assignment. Journals, as things come up in the news through higher education trade papers or general media, I'll add those to the discussion. I would encourage you to do the same thing as you're doing reading research for this class or for the other class. Please don't hesitate to post them as part of the discussion board. So that's the assigned readings. The discussion board, those of you familiar with D2L, it's pretty straightforward. I will ask a small number of open kind of questions about the readings. What from your perspective, what's significant from your perspective? Is there something here that doesn't make sense? But just to answer them, I do have a request. Respond. These don't have to be term papers. 3 or 4 paragraphs. Please write in paragraphs, not bullets. Please write in the third person. It's better that way. And when you're responding to another student's work, we're colleagues here. So just play it straight. If you don't agree with them, just say, here's another way of looking at something. But that's, I think you'll find if you haven't done this before, that's an interesting way of exchanging views. So we talked about the assigned readings, the D2L discussion. We have 2 weekend seminars each semester and then 1 in the summer. And the dates are now known for those. They're October 13th and 14th. That's a Friday afternoon, evening, all day Saturday. October 13th and 14th, and then November 17th and 18th. Both will be held on the campus of Volunteer State Community College in Gallatin, Tennessee. The format for the seminars will change, but we basically class discussion. We have speakers, outside speakers. We've been very fortunate to attract, the leaders from campuses, as well as the Tennessee Board of Regents, as well as state government, as well as the Higher Education Commission. So the time moves pretty quickly on those seminars. And then the last thing, there are 2 written assignments for this class, and both the idea is to have something practical, tangible, and useful to you going forward. So the first writing assignment, which is due about the same time as the first weekend seminar, is in the form of a briefing memo to me. So it's not a term paper. But here is the landscape, 2017, for community colleges those from Tennessee would say in Tennessee, those from another state, their state. But data points that would show, and we'll talk about this on in the semester, but basically it's supposed to be, it's like an executive policy brief. So just to tell me, without great literature, but professional writing, here are the issues today, here's a little bit of background, here are the policy concerns that are going on. This is not an exercise in creative writing. It's to be written as if we were coworkers, colleagues. So I don't need an opening quote from Thoreau or anything like that, but just here are the significant data points, here are the issues. So hopefully that'll serve you well. Then the final paper, the second paper, which is due at the end of the semester, is of those things that you've identified in your perspective, that's what this memo would be called, where you drill down. And an example could be financial aid, where one of the data points, like there are many things going on in the world of financial aid in Tennessee higher education, Virginia, North Carolina. But here's one that is of particular interest to you on how, and just take that deeper. And that's where you can come up with some recommendations for change. The first one truly is a perspective. It's not subjective at all. Again, not creative writing, but write it in the third person so it isn't you saying, well, here's what I think or I feel that. That's not the assignment. The assignment is here are the issues. Both papers would be expected about 10 pages in length. And then if you want to have attachments, that's beyond that. But again, I think you need that much space to be able to develop things. So that really concludes this video. A reminder, self-introduction video that you would prepare and submit through D2L would be due at the end of the first week. And if you have any questions about that, feel free to contact me, or we give you links to a help desk and whatever. So very excited about this course. Again, last year was a big success. We learned some things. We enjoyed the cohort immensely, and I know you will as well. So thank you for your attention, and here's to a good semester.